Hello and welcome back to Controversial Minds, the online debate show where we discuss topics that are relevant to you. Today we've got a special, it's an all-guys special. Basically, ladies, what we want to know is, there's them situations where there's questions you want to ask a guy but you don't think that they'll give you the right answer, or maybe you'll be scared to ask them. Well, I'm going to attempt to get into these guys' minds today. Wish me luck, but don't be upset if I don't manage to, because they might keep strum. But we'll see. Let's try and crack the guy code. So, let's kick it off with, do you ever think it's acceptable, or do you know there's situations where a guy would lie to a female to get his way, whether it be getting her into bed or even just to get her number or wherever it may be?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to elaborate a little bit more?
Well, a friend of 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 a friend. No. It's all, men, and I'm gonna be real, man. Men, we go through player stages in our lives, and part of playing is a game, innit? And we're feeling out the whole situations and that kind of sense. And it depends on. I look at my school life, how I was in school, primary school, secondary school. I was kind of the man that kind of got not the top hottie ones, the ones with the 20 points, bag that. I'm talking like the average girls. You know what I'm saying? So I had to step my game up in various ways. So lying does come into the whole content sometimes. You might it's an odd one.
What kind of lies are there? Like, obviously there's little white lies and then there's big lies that are a bit over the top.
It depends really. It just depends on the circumstances. If I'm meeting a girl for the first time, you might throw in the odd one like, yeah, I got little money still, and you're broke as hell. You know what I'm saying? You might be lying about, you might be things that you're gonna do in the future, but you put it there now. Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of saying,
I own my own business.
Yeah, that's it.
You're just writing your business plan.
Right, but it's just putting things in perspective, like painting a picture that you feel of yourself that you wanna give to this lady. Just give me a bit of time, I'll put it in process. So hopefully it will catch up. So you lie for that moment. The only problem with that, you have to keep lying.
And then the line builds eventually.
Up. Nah, if you got a good game, you ain't gonna get caught.
But what about if you then really like this female and then your lies come out? Is it really worth it in the end?
Just keep lying, innit?
To be honest with you, we all lie. We all lie when we first meet each other. Because when you meet me, that's not me. When I meet you, I'm at my best. So I want to be smelling nice. I want to be looking nice. I'm gonna have the best clothes I'm wearing. You're gonna have fake eyelashes, fake hair. You're gonna have fake nails. You're gonna have high heels. You're probably gonna have a tight dress that holds everybody in. Everybody is in. You have roles. They're different people, but it's gonna hold everyone in. So at the end of the day, it's like that's not a true reflection of who you are, because when all that comes off, that's who you are. Different person.
So you wake up in the morning.
Now,
who are you? I don't know you. My God damn it! Where's your hair?
So realistically, we always say, when we step out of our houses, then our personality there is totally different from the personality when we're at home. So that's down to obviously what society do to us. We feel that we have to.
But listen, don't we lie to protect the women as well?
But
what way?
how?
We lie, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Have you got a girlfriend?
Yeah, if you got a girlfriend, no. Because at the time you want it as well. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but a lot of it is down to confidence. But then that's down to obviously how you view yourself. If you're confident enough to say to a woman, there's some men who could say to women, you know what, I've got a wife, I've got kids, but I want you. And at the end of the day, some men aren't confident enough to do that. Some men believe that they have to then say, you know what, I haven't got a wife and kids.
I think the lies are needed. I think lies and truth are both needed, because in the same breath, lying only wastes time to find out the truth. But if you lie and have truth in it, it keeps balance. Because you could lie to a girl about when you first meet her just to entice her. You could lie about your job, your profession. If you're an assistant, you say you're not an assistant. You're actually part of that position. It's only because you want to get her, but then in time, you kind of mold things in together. But that's little white lies. But either way, you need lies. So it's kind of define what type of lie you need. Everybody lies.
What about those guys out there that will, I don't know, lie? The thing is, there's lying just to attract someone and try and get into a relationship with someone, but then there's guys that will lie to get further, for example, to try and get a girl into bed, like, and then afterwards he's actually an arsehole, he's not this nice guy that you thought he was.
Yeah, them things do happen, and they will keep happening if girls don't clock on. I mean, we're living in a society where our whole image is a lie. So if you easily fall for that and you want to fall in bed, that's your problem. But it does happen, and women accept it. Some women even they accept it in the sense of they know the guy's lying, or they have an inkling that the guy's lying, but they still go for it.
My best friend told me he didn't.
Yeah.
They listen to their friends and they're not taking it in.
Yeah,
Plus you got that
yeah,
inner
well.
conscience of that. You got that thing inside you that talks to you and tells you that little thing in your shoulder, like, you ain't good, sister. Shh.
But they have that classic line where I don't usually do this.
That one there.
You know, or it's complicated.
Facebook.
No, to touch on the point you said, a matter of when we lie, lying is obviously necessary. Like we have, like I say, the little lies, and then you've got, for example, your partner says to you, "Do I look nice in this?" She may not necessarily look as nice as she would like to look, but for her sake, you will say, "Well, yeah, you do."
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Now that's a lie. We may not class it as a lie. You might say, "Oh, I'm just helping their confidence," but you still lie.
Nasty girl.
So, yeah, but we lie, don't we? So, it's like you're saying, it is necessary. But at the end of the day, because the truth is ugly.
Yeah.
All of our truth is ugly. All of our reality. None of us are top all the time. None of us are going to look the best all the time.
Sorry
So
about that.
you will always have to lie.
Yeah, I don't know about some people, but
there's
But
some
listen,
people.
don't women lie though?
Like you said, women lie when they go raving.
It comes back to, like he said, this everything is a lie. You women see a guy, he's wearing his Gucci, is Stone Island.
He's got money.
She's got heels. She's got bags. She just borrowed her friend's clothes. He just rented out some clothes. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's lying.
Women do lie. I mean, you go to supermarkets or you go to beauty stores and you got like 6 different aisles for women just to lie about their image. And then us men, the reason we want to lie or lie about our image is to keep up with the woman. I mean, most women, if they really put their guys in check or have standards and say, listen, I don't want a guy like this, and you don't accept it, you see society change for guys. And the same way with men, if you have standards and say, I don't want a woman that acts like this, I don't want a woman that looks like that, all of this is fake or that's fake, then women will check themselves as well.
Yeah, but you say that men do certain things to try and keep up with women, and men say they don't like all this fakeness, blah, 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 blah. And yet, when you go out, it's the girl who's got the most makeup on, with the biggest weave, in the highest heels, in the smallest little dress, that is attracting the guy. So why is that?
Which brings me back to my...
It's attracting a guy for an hour.
It's true.
Nah,
Do you know how many
an
guys
hour
I know?
of lash.
I don't
That's
like
it. It's true.
fake
Yeah, 'cause you
nails,
come
I
to
don't
say
like
yes,
eyelashes,
that's
I
it,
don't
yeah.
like weave.
It's true
And
what
then
you're
you
saying.
go and you see these girls
It's
who
true.
look like Barbie.
But like I said,
that
but
make
if
them
a woman steps up and if a guy steps up collectively, not individually, because that's individual points. Collectively, if guys step up and say, I don't want a woman that looks like that, her lashes are way too long for me.
No, but guys
They
do.
don't
bust
look
up.
natural.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. Guys, all the guys, because I've got most of my friends are males,
Yeah.
right? They're always telling me, I don't like girls that wear weave, I don't like girls that are fake, I don't like girls that wear makeup. And yet, from what I see all the time, when you say, for example, I'll just go out to a club or whatever, the girls who are getting the guys chasing after them are the girls who have the long weaves and have the fakeness. Because I personally, I don't wear fake eyelashes and I don't wear weave. I wear fake nails, but that's because I bite my nails. So.
But you need to start from the
But
root
it's
of
just
the
like,
problem and ask why
me
the girls dress
personally-
like that in the first place or want to look like that in the first place.
Because
And
these guys.
it's not because of that, it's because of the influence of the media.
It's influence of the media, and it's also a man's desire to have an orgasm. So when I see this girl dressed like that, initially I'm thinking, wow, you know, that's alright.
That's a beat, boy.
You understand?
It's an
Why
eye
are
orgasm.
you
Initially it's
then
lust.
saying that you don't
The
like
initial
women
thing
that
is
wear
lust.
weave and eyelashes, but then you're lusting after the chick with the weave and eyelashes?
Because that's not a natural reaction. That's just a matter of you thinking, you know what? Because society tells you that's what's beautiful. If we lived in a country where, for example, let's say we all come from
that's actually a really good
Uganda,
answer.
and in Uganda, whereas most women are not going to have long European hair. Most of them are going to have very short hair. So the people you're going to find attractive are more than likely going to be the women with the short hair. So if you go to a club, everyone's going to have short hair. So anyone else who has maybe long hair, you might not find attractive. You're going to find what society shows you is attractive. So what do we see as being attractive in society? Women with long, natural hair, or it looks natural, but it's long hair, it's probably airbrushed, they've got long eyelashes, their makeup is done. We look at that and they say that's beauty. All day long they show you that's beauty, that's beauty. So when you go out, what are you going to do? Ladies are going to dress in that way in order to portray beauty.
I think
and
as
that's
men
what we're
now,
going to be
and I'm
attracted
sitting with
to.
some men
Okay, can I
that
just ask one thing, sorry? Please stop like going and gassing about I don't like girls with weaves and eyelashes.
No,
That's
true.
what you're going to chase after. Regardless of whether society's
No,
implanted it into your brain, you are still hollering the chick with the eyelashes and the weave. So
No, we're
obviously, a part of you does like it. Because all
Nah.
I'm hearing all the time, don't wear makeup. But yeah, your girlfriend's wearing makeup. Don't tell me nothing about not wearing makeup. Say, for example, in the future, you've got a grown daughter and a guy was treating her in a bad way that you may have treated a girl in the past. Don't you think it's a bit hypocritical for you to then get angry? If you were to get angry, of course.
To be honest with you, I would not obviously like anybody to treat my daughter in that way. But it's inevitable that it's going to happen. Because growing up as people within a society,
Life is
certain things happen to you. You understand? These things will always happen, no matter how much I may say to my daughter, never let a man treat you like that. What she's going to do is when it happens, she's not going to tell me. Because then she's going to know that I've been brought up to never let a man treat me like this. When a man treats me like this, I have to keep it inside.
Yeah, but I think most women have been, no woman has been brought up to like, yes, when you grow up, you're going to find a man who's going to treat you like shit. Obviously, we've all been told, don't let a man treat you no way. But some men are, well, most men are very smart and do like have this fakeness where the woman is going to believe that they're this great guy when they're not. So are you not going to want to chase him down the road with a machete then? You're just going to be like, oh, you know what, it's life, it's fine.
Like, to be honest with you, obviously we live in a law-abiding society. Legally not allowed to
yeah, there's no crime on the street.
you understand? Obviously, I have to live within the means
It's
of the
just
law,
obviously
innit?
that's an
I
extreme
personally-
example, but you're not gonna want to slap him or nothing.
No, I personally, do you know what? I would like to, but for the purposes of this, I'm no longer on probation, so I'm alright now. But at the end of the day, is your first reaction is obviously may be violence, depending on the type of person you are. Your first reaction may be violence. My first reaction now, after the years I've spent in prison, is not violence anymore, because I have one more strike. I'm going for life, so it can't be violence. It has to be other ways of trying to teach your child, your daughter, specifically that she's worthwhile.
But
And
you
that
can
she
give
doesn't
her,
need to
you
be
can,
treated like that.
like
But at
you
the end
say,
of the day,
give her the
that's
signs,
life. This is what happens in it in life. You meet people all the time.
But
You
then
know, you
why
form
don't guys
relationships with
think,
people all the time, you just have to
future
evaluate.
wise when you do have a daughter one day that you're gonna love like you never loved anyone before,
we're not thinking
and
that
you're not
way,
gonna
man.
want a guy to treat.
But
So
most of
why
the
do
time
guys
you-
treat women in such a certain way? When
No one
when
in
it's your,
society now.
not even a daughter, your mum or your sister
Yeah,
or
but for us,
another
we don't
woman that you
think.
love.
None of us look at the future, because if we looked at the future, none of us would ever be in any debt.
But it's not even
Because we say
necessarily
to
the
ourselves-
future.
exactly.
We have to. If you plan for the future, then you're not gonna live for now. You hear
No,
people
but-
saying YOLO because we live for now.
But
Why?
it's-
Why do we
yeah,
live
but
for now?
the twist on it is, right, maybe I'll ask you the wrong way then, not necessarily when you have a daughter, but you have your mum, most people love their mum, sisters, friends, cousins, whoever. You ain't going to want to see no man treat her in a bad way, so then why do guys think it's acceptable to treat women in a bad way?
But it's a learning process, isn't it? But it's a
Yeah.
learning process.
But then you lot get
Listen,
upset when we
it's
call
the
you
no
hypocrite.
wrong right
when
way
we're
of dealing
growing,
with it.
listen,
Don't
when
make
we're
sense.
growing up, anything. It's not like any. Well, I'm not saying that anything goes, but you're growing up. Like for me, my older brother at the time, it was like following him was a major thing, and seeing what he was doing and stuff like that. And then next thing, I want to grow up as well. I want to be a big man. And then most other older people around me, they're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? So one thing about it is girls. And then once you're into one girl, you're into two, you're into three, into four, into five. And then it's not until you reach a certain stage where you realise, oh, you know what? It's long. I just want to settle down. I want to do this. I want to do that. But because you've been through it, that's where you can teach your child the right way. That's what I say. A lot of things, people put different things down in society. For me, I believe it's the way you reflect the information that you've grown up with onto your child. And that's how upbringings can be. If she obviously it's bad a guy treats a woman like shit, and there's a possibility your daughter's gonna go be with about I don't know how many men until she gets married, but you can only teach her the right things, and she can only use what you've taught her as judgment to go out there and find the right guy. If she's going with a guy that's got a little million tattoos, he looks like Lil Wayne, and he sounds like Vybz Kartel, obviously she's gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's the reality.
But I'm looking at, I don't have a daughter, I have 2 boys, so I'm looking at it as don't the father, I believe,
fathers be treating
no, we kind of,
My son's
we
cool,
kind of
man.
set, no, but I'm kind of setting the thing, I believe I'm setting a purpose for, I set the purpose for my boys, innit? And they mirror what I do. It's very important, and I think if I had a daughter, she would look on me, and I think she would pick a partner. A partner have to. There's some similarity between it. So if I had a daughter, I think the most thing I would love to have is that good communication. Like you were saying, before that gets to that point where I have to go and kill somebody, I would have that dialogue, constant communication, dialogue with that person.
As much as you have the influence on your child, society will have a bigger influence once they reach a certain age. So
True that, but the foundations you have, but the foundations are set from early, from 0 to 7. It's you about you as the parent.
No, but
you know what I'm saying?
but if you live in inner city and you raise your kids in inner city, they're only gonna turn out a certain type of way statistically. Yeah. If I take my child out of the inner city, maybe put them in a country, they're not gonna really be mixing with certain people who are likely. Or likely to hurt my kids.
I think you're both right.
To hurt relationships with my children.
When you're at a young age, like you were saying, there's only so much you can give your child, and then whether it uses that tools when it's outside, that's its problem or the child's problem. But then when you're raised in that's why I don't like projects. I don't like council estates and stuff like that, because
like prisons.
It's a prison outside of prison. You raise your child to a certain thing, and then your next door neighbor, they don't raise their child as well. And you no longer raise your child because it spends more time outside than it does inside. So your child ends up being raised by society.
But it was true. But I was brought up like that. So my mum and dad, I was fighting in Lambeth every day. I was fighting. Moved to Croydon, didn't work. Mum and dad took me to Sutton. My whole I've got a different mindset now in terms of that, and I can see that, and I'm doing the same with my boys. I'll hopefully move them out of the inner. You know what I'm saying? And then they come back. I've come back to the inner for some strange reason to get put back. And I've got a different mindset. Especially when it comes to females now. I can grow my boys up to learn to respect women differently. You know what I'm saying? And I've got a good mirror, but I'm glad I don't have no daughter anyway.
Women, right? Because even to go back on from what I said and to correct myself, we say that, I said that maybe men should be then raising their sons to grow up and respect women, that then women should be raising their sons and their daughters as well as men. So
and they should grow up respecting themselves. Some girls don't like to be called bitches and stuff like that, but that's exactly how they act.
But when you put the word bad in front of it, they seem to think it's
but that's
exactly you've got to look at the flip side of things. We're talking about raising daughters, What about boys now? Because you know what, it's hurtful, if you're a man, I know mans in society now that they've had 2 youths with a girl and turn out it's not their kids. Like, why go on with that, if you get what I'm saying? What about women respecting men?
But then that goes back to what you guys were saying as well. A woman should know and she should be smart enough. Then you should be smart enough to know whether you're a woman.
Nice. No. You can't. Sometimes you can't be smart. You put all your eggs in one basket. You're in love with one girl and she hurts you so deeply. You're gonna go out and you're gonna next girl you meet, that's it. You're gonna kill her, and that's what it is. You're gonna hurt her.
Just to come back quickly to what you said there, it's how also we say we raise our children, how we raise our daughters. We won't like it to happen to my daughter, but I believe if you put your daughter in a position where it's more than likely to happen to her, so it's obviously it's us sexualizing the children before they're out of an age to where they can choose for themselves. Look at the clothes we allow our kids to go out in now. So you're saying maybe from maybe 11 or 12, you're going to let your daughter go out and, start to socialise at 11 or 12. But you're going to let her dress in the same clothes that you wear.
Not only that, but you've got people like Rihanna on the TV,
right,
daytime TV.
Obviously, what we don't understand is has anyone ever listened to Rihanna's lyrics and hear what she's saying? So, mental. But before that, we used to have Jodeci. You hear what Jodeci is saying? That's what we were listening to.
R. Kelly.
And you're grinding to it. You don't even understand what they're saying.
How much babies are born on R. Kelly 12-play album, man? Jeez! I think I was creating up that, you get me?
But these are the things, so obviously, that is going to be instilled in you and you're going to try and obviously raise your child the right way. But it's quite difficult to raise your child in a society that
so it's a mixture of everything,
has no
really.
Morals or anything else.
Yeah, because like raising your child 0 to 5 is part of the most important stages of somebody growing up and who they're going to be when they're older. So, and then obviously society is a massive impact. I mean, I know I've got a lot more influence from when I was going to school and stuff. I mean, my mum's white. I was raised by a white family. And then obviously most of my friends now are black, but that's from the school that I went to and the people I started mixing with. So it is, I reckon, personally, it's a mixture of who you was raised by, whether you was raised properly, and then society.
Yeah, it's a mixture, but more so, I believe, more so with our society. Because that is our biggest influence
agree with
after a
you,
certain
100%.
age. Once we reach a certain age, we have friends, we go out, that's
and you're
what
independent
influences
enough
us.
to make your own
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah, when you're
as
older,
well.
then you can say, oh, well, I shouldn't have done that and I shouldn't have done
I
that.
think it's lack of culture. I think all of this that we're talking about is mainly
Culture,
on the
identity,
west side.
yeah.
If you look on the east side or the Middle East and that, I don't think they have the problems that we have now.
They don't. Why do men cheat, or why are men seen to cheat more than women do? Is it because they don't value relationships as much, or yeah, that's the question.
Thanks. No. I believe, and this is my view and my view only. Every man and woman goes through a stage in their life, and they have to go through that stage. It's part of progression. It's part of growing. And I believe every man has to go through a play stage. Some men leave it to their 70s. Some people keep going. Some people have it early. And like I was saying before, what type of girls I was getting and the circumferences I was in, I didn't really get the chance to go with girls. And my confidence wasn't there and that kind of thing. As I'm coming up in society, college, I was like, hold on a minute, it's more. And I started playing more. And men, we're very competitive. We're survival of the fittest. We've got to conform to certain things. We don't need to sometimes, and we're trying to impress people. So we get caught up in that kind of foolishness. But every man and woman, women usually go through it 18 to 21 or gather hoochie stages where they just kind of let go. You know what I'm saying? And then men, they do it at different times. Usually by 28, it should be out of system. 30, you should be saying to yourself, you know, I'm ready. And then you start to value. I value relationship now because I've experienced with different women. I used to have one for that one could cook, that one was ambitious. That one was the trophy one that you go to the club with. But now, that's a stupid, because really, if I put my focus into that one woman, that's all of it in one. Do you know what I'm saying? That's where I kind of come wrong. And I believe I'm not going to go to society, I'm not going to do anything in there. It's a thing that we all have to go through in our life, standard. Every man has to go through a play stage, standard.
Yeah, but what about when, like, you know, when you get those, they're like serious relationships, a lot of the time, guys seem to... You know, they seem to cheat on women more than, or is it just because women hide it better?
I think women do. I think women cheat as much as men. I think. I feel that it's just that men, we don't sit around and say, Shaniqua cheated on me, I'm down, all this, that, the other. We just get up and write it out. But with women, when one man cheats on you, it's like 1,000 men cheated on you.
And they do it blatantly as well.
You know the reason why? Because sex is not just sex. We seem to always say that sex is just sex. It's not. Sex has so many things involved in it. Sex is an emotional process. A man, as a woman, you're allowing a man to enter your body. You understand? So he's inserting something into your body. That's our bodies touching. We're connecting. So even if I give it to you doggy style, I'm still connecting with you. You understand? It don't have to be missionary. You know, the traditional missionary position, but it's like...
Sex is a physical conversation.
It's a really big thing.
Like when you speak to someone that's intellectual, like let's say that's the penis, yeah? You're speaking to someone that's intellectual, a guy that's intellectual. When he's going inside of you, he's putting all of him inside of you. As when you get a guy that isn't so intellectual or isn't so deep or whatever, and you let him go inside you, what is going inside you? There's nothing. It's the same. And a lot of women allow that, and that's why them kind of men, they easily get women, and they think it's cool to cheat.
But a lot of that will come from depending on what you believe in. But if we say we go back a couple of thousand years, if you don't believe in all of that, then just as an example, we go back a couple of thousand years biblically. In that era, there maybe the Babylonian era, men had several partners.
Simple, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
we should have that.
Certain religion, that's acceptable. Certain religion,
before we had the Western idea of religion, you know, we had polytheistic.
But it's still going on now. It's still in Africa. It goes on now.
Having several wives. You understand? It was accepted within society.
Why was it accepted? Why is that okay?
Because in them times it was...
For a woman, it's not okay. So why should that be okay? Even if it
you
wasn't...
feel it's okay now.
You know why?
No,
because as a woman, you're a woman. So like I say, I can have sex with 100 girls.
But why?
Yeah, without nothing happening. You have sex with 100 guys, your vagina will not look the same. And your body will not look the same. You will not feel the same. Just genetically, as women, you're more inclined to feel a lot more emotionally than men.
I think back then it was okay.
As survival in terms of men and women, you know, we had to survive as men differently from women. Women were obviously held back a lot, it's only over the past maybe 100 years that women have established their roles in society. Before that, they didn't have roles.
No, of course we did.
So at the end of the day, a lot of the things that were done by men.
The thing is, it weren't even that long ago either. It was less than 100 years ago that women even got the vote, and loads of other things.
No, we're not undermining women then, because when we look at back in the days, every Rosa Parks, all them kind, we're looking back, they're always the strong, powerful women, always there beside the man them. And this is the thing now, that's kind of gone. They've kind of, since these bits have come, they've gone, they've come independent, all these kind of elements. So we're fighting against a lot at the moment. And we're getting thrown to, some of us are getting thrown under the bus.
Because even if you go back like just 100 years ago, women were seen to be domestic goddesses. They had to, fair enough, they didn't have to go out and work, but they had to be there emotionally for their men.
I think it's acceptable to cheat in today's society. A lot of people feel that it is acceptable to cheat because we're living in a society where things are moving so fast, and because it's moving so fast, people ain't necessarily the age that they're at. Like, it's cool to be 40 and still be young now because you're living for the moment. That's why people cheat, because they think, I'm going to settle down later on in life. Back then it was different back in the day, because a 20-year-old back in the day was certified in society. They had their profession, they had their family and stuff like that. But now, 18-year-olds now are younger than 18-year-olds 100 years ago.
No, that's true. But then, I don't know what the ages are here, but I'm coming from an old school kind of era. So 70s, yeah? So I hit the 70s. So the girls that we had in them days, stress-free and cocoa butter. them days, the women that we were dealing with them days didn't cook. They had a straight now, like the girls, even though we did what we did, the girls had a straight focused mind, didn't it? And we couldn't conform them. Much as I sit there and say, babe, come on man, do a threesome or something, it wasn't happening. They never conformed to the stuff, and it's like we had to conform to them. It's like, you know what, if I'm gonna be the man, and that's where now I can honestly say I got my one woman, I'm gonna get married, because I haven't conformed. She hasn't conformed to my rubbish. Because we as men, we're just hunter gatherers. Babe, don't worry. As long as I get over that wall, everything's gonna be alright. Just don't worry. We'll sacrifice so much for just to get over that wall to see what's going on. And I think that's where we need our women to be strong. And when this is the thing now, because I put this marriage thing on my thingy. That don't stop women. That don't stop them from being who they are at the moment. There's some nasty, vindictive. I want that man. Don't worry, your woman won't know. It's alright.
Over the years, I think men have taken liberties out of their power. It's a thing where they were on top and they could tell their women what to do and whatever. And now it's got to the point where I'm on top. Why do I need one woman? I can go get another woman and just keep it quiet because she's gonna stay at home. But that's why I'm saying now women have stepped up. They don't want to stay at home. They can step out and do the same thing and be on the same platform as men.
We are defined by our society, so really as men, we do a lot of things to impress other people. It's the same for women, but specifically for men, we feel a bit more pressure than women.
I really enjoyed that episode. There's views that I've always had, for example, the whole thing where I said about if men, because I've got a lot of male friends and family who have always said to me, don't wear makeup or don't put fake eyelashes on and so on. I have an issue with it. I actually think that weave looks nice. Even when you watch TV, most of the women, when they look all fancy and so on, it's because they've got fake hair in. It's just something I've never done, but I wouldn't rule out. But it's like I've always had this influence with men saying don't do it. But when one of the guys said about it's society and it's what's shown to look nice, it goes back to me saying again, when you watch TV, you say something, say for example Beyonce, or even you get certain white women and their hair looks all thick and full, it's because they got fake hair in. And again, he said, society or the media shows you that is what is attractive, and I thought that was one of the best answers I've ever got from anyone, because it's a question I always ask. Why have I got guys constantly telling me don't do this, don't do that, but then when you're out, that's the kind of look that you're interested in? So that was an interesting point. And the whole thing about it's okay to cheat, I know he never meant it in that way. What he meant was the way that society has changed is that it's more acceptable than it was back in the day. Even like the way it comes out, women could now get up and leave, whereas before, if they were to get up and leave, they wouldn't make it out on the streets on their own because the men had control over everything. So yeah, but I really, really enjoyed that episode. It was interesting.
We revealed some codes of conduct today, and I think we got some root causes of why men do what they do and why women do what they do. But the main thing I'm looking at here, and I'm going to take away for myself, is about family values, and that's what we need to bring back. I think we've lost something along the way, and if we can start from here, if it starts from controversial minds, where we start putting things into action and bringing family values, put it into our kids, I think society will conform. Yes, we've got to have the positive and negative, but I think we should have a balance, and that's what I think we need to bring back the balance. So family values is the key in this situation, man. I think, done, no?
I think society's made it acceptable kind of to cheat now because the way things have been promoted, it's kind of like we're moving so fast that there's to the point where things have been created for us to lie more. We have more skeletons in our closet. The government give handouts to people that are single parents and not promoting them staying together. Stuff like that, just small things, and the media, and I think society's made it quite acceptable to cheat now.
Yo, some people think it's acceptable to cheat. I just think in society, that's how things are portrayed right now, and everyone wants to have fun. I personally don't run with it, but that's the way people feel and about it. Seriously, they sold out a lot of the man code today. I'm not happy, but you know what? That's what controversial minds are for. Stay tuned. Watch the next episode.
That was interesting. There are views I've always had, and I feel that some of them have actually been changed now just from having that discussion. If there is anything that you would like to put to the guys, because we would like to have another male special, then please get in contact with us. Our details are on the screen now. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you disagree with the guys, some of the stuff they may have said you think is a load of rubbish, like it's okay to cheat, apparently. So contact us, and we'd love to hear your views. I'm Charlotte Pearson. You've been watching Controversial Minds.